Okay, guys, look, now I want to debunk some myths that come with the trading mindset, right? So I have 7 of them that I've noticed in my trading, and I want to just make sure that you guys are clear about how these things are not true. Now, the first is that you have to be born with some sort of special talent in order to trade. Now, that is just simply not true, right? Some people may say like, you have to be a super analytical person, or you have to have a financial background. And though there are a lot of traders who may have come from a financial background, like myself, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to help you. There's nothing that I was necessarily doing in my position before that made me any more equipped than you are to be able to be successful at trading. Now, what trading does call for is just a few shifts in some habits that you may have, which we'll talk about later, but it's not an innate skill or talent that you're born with. I think it's something that everyone can develop over time. Myth number 2 is that you're going to have instant success with trading. You're going to become rich overnight. You're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. All right? That is not going to happen. Okay? Possibly, if you had, if you had $500,000 to put into, one of very few stocks that's going to run up the next day, and you were willing to risk all of that money, you possibly could become one, right? But in most cases, right, I would say majority of the time, trading is something that is a over time accumulation for wealth, right? That's what wealth is in itself. Anybody that tells you that wealth is an overnight thing has the complete wrong mindset, and they are setting you up for failure. So what I want you guys to understand is that all you have to do is just make a couple of good plays over time, protect yourself over time, and keep stacking those wins. As you continue to stack those wins, as you continue to to profit in this trading world, you're going to notice that your account is going to start accumulating. What happens when your account starts to accumulate? You start to have more money that you can risk, right? Trading is about the amount of money that you can leverage to make more money. Okay, so if I'm trading $1,000 and I make a 10% gain or profit on a particular play, then I've just made $100. Now, if I have $10,000 to risk and I take that same exact play, I'm able to make $1,000. So you can see how over time, as you're able to take the amount of money that's in your account up a little bit, you're able to slowly increase your profits, okay? So you want to have that slow growth mindset, right? Sometimes there will be days where you make a lot more than what you intended because the market just gave you a lot of opportunity. And there's some days where the market may not give that many opportunity, and you have to rely on your skills to get in there and scout, just enough to hit your goals, or sometimes you may not hit your goal for the day. But I want you guys to understand that this is a long-term game. It is not for the short term. And if you're looking for something short term, then you'll find yourself vulnerable in the market. You'll find yourself making way more mistakes than necessary, okay? So keep a long-term mindset, and remember that it is not instant success in trading. So get rid of that, all right? Okay, myth number 3 is that trading is gambling, okay? A lot of people think that trading is no different than, betting on a team in Vegas to win, or betting on a boxing match or a baseball game. When in reality, it's a lot more sophisticated than that, right? There are a lot of things that are what I like to call somewhat predictable, meaning that there's a probability attached to that thing working out the way that you see it in the technical analysis. We'll learn more about, the technical analysis. You probably read or saw some in the introduction to options trading video, but there will be more videos that follow to just get you into a better understanding of the different types of technical analysis. You'll be learning technical analysis as long as you're trading. There's always some sort of new pattern, and the probabilities improve and some decline over time as humans' mindsets change, right? So you definitely want to remember that this is not gambling, and when you do gamble, you will have the low probability of gambling. It's a toss-up, right? You want to make sure that you are reading the charts, understanding the technical analysis, following the patterns, and only taking high probability trades that you recognize. Even if it's a high probability trade, but you don't understand what's going on, it's still considered gambling. So gambling is when you have no idea, but you're just throwing something at the board, throwing a dart at the board, right? What you want to do is you want to see something that has happened hundreds, thousands of times, which is given this, probability, this high probability, and you want to take those setups, right? You don't want to gamble. You don't want to risk your real hard-earned money. Okay, we'll talk more about this in the technical analysis section, but remember, it is not gambling, and do not treat it like that. All right, myth number 4. Oh, I win a lot, so I'm going to be a successful trader. Having a high win rate does not necessarily equal a profitable trader. Now, I want to break that down. So some people are like, okay, like how can you win in your trades but not be a profitable trader? How can you win majority of your trades but not be a profitable trader? What it comes from is a lot of the human emotions kicking in. One of the biggest emotions that we all struggle with is greed, right? So though you may win a few, right? You may win 10 back-to-back 10%ers, right? You risk 1,000, make 10%, make $100, right? So you stacked $1,000, and then you enter the same trade, but you stay in it a little bit too long, and then that wipes out all of your profits. There is nothing more frustrating than a week, 2 weeks, months of building your profits to lose it all in one trade because you didn't know when to get out. Okay, so it is very, 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 very important to understand risk management, understanding when to leave a trade, understanding when you were wrong, okay? So just because you have a high win rate does not mean that you're going to be a profitable trader. You want to focus more on those profits and then not risking all your profits every single trade. Always keep what you made in mind when you're making a trade so that your account can continue to grow, all right? Myth number 5. Technical analysis is all I need. All I need to do is know the charts and patterns. That's all I need. Though technical analysis is very important in becoming a successful trader, it is not all you need, right? And we do have another course that does walk you through the fundamental analysis of trading. Okay, so though technical can be very accurate in the short term, there are so many other factors that can contribute to whether a stock is going to go up or down in a given period of time. Now, news, especially in a world where there's so much media beyond the broadcast media, we have social media, we have experts all across social media who are constantly writing articles and spewing different insider information that at any given time could cause a pendulum swing in the stock. So you want to make sure that you're always keeping some of the conversations into context with your technical analysis. You want to understand the financials of that company, why a company may be down one day. You want to just make sure that you have an understanding of the company as a whole. Like I said, we'll dive deeper into exactly what you need to look for fundamentally, but it is a myth that technical analysis is the only thing that you need to trade. You want to definitely know what's going on beyond the inside, right? So technical analysis is kind of like the surface level, and the fundamentals is more so like the internal. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure that you're, peeking under the hood and making sure that everything is operating, well, so that that drop was, legitimate, or that increase was legitimate. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Myth number 6 is that I have a crystal ball, or that I can predict the future, I can predict the market. Now, there's a lot of shiesty people out there that can tell you this is going to happen for sure. Absolutely do this. You want to run away from those people, okay? You have to understand that nothing in this world is guaranteed. There's risk when you walk outside your door. There's risk when you board a plane. There's risk when you get in your car. There is nothing that is 100% predictable. So how do we cope with that as humans? We cope with that by what's called managing your risk, right? So even though there's something that has a high probability of doing a certain thing, like, you read your technical analysis, you do the fundamental analysis, you're like, okay, it looks like Tesla, it looks like, Enphase, or this particular stock is going to go up based on these things. There's still that small chance that something does go wrong. There have been plane crashes, there have been car accidents, right? There have been things that happen every day that people did not predict would actually happen. So you want to make sure that there's a way that you can support yourself or protect yourself when things go wrong. So managing your risk, having a stop loss, having a certain amount that you're willing to lose, and knowing this before you even get into the play, okay? We'll dive deeper into exactly how to do this later, but I want you guys to know you cannot always predict exactly what's going to happen. Get that out of your mind and focus on being able to protect your assets, manage your risk. All right, myth number 7. This is pretty important, okay? Now you have some people that will try to say that you need to be a robot when you trade, right? They say you can't have any emotions, right? I think that's kind of dangerous, because what it can do is when you make a mistake, it can really push you into a dark place. I know it happened with me personally. I was just like, oh man, I'm emotional. I'm in my feelings about things. It's not about that. It's about managing. I think everything boils down to managing your habits or your emotions, right? We're human. Like I said in the beginning of this video, it's important to have a why. You can't have a why if you're not emotionally attached to something, right? So I want you to still be human in this, right? Remember that we're doing this so that we can be more human. We're doing this so that we could live our life like in its greatest form. So I don't want you to lose the essence of yourself in trading, but just understand when certain negative emotions are taking root and taking over your trades. You want to make sure that you keep a clear mindset and, give yourself room to feel, but don't let strong negative feelings cause you to go and make mistakes like over trading. Over trading is when you had a trading plan and you set out to take 2 to 3 trades and you went and took 5 to 6 trades because you wanted to revenge trade, you wanted to get your money back, or you might have been upset about something, right? So keep your emotions, maintain your humanity, but make sure you're managing them and not letting them ruin the trades that you take.